Here are the 3 reasons why the market in Vancouver, Washington is cooling, not crashing. You might hear on the TV and on the radio and on social media that the housing market is absolutely crashing. Well, let's talk over the 3 reasons why it's actually cooling and having a correction versus crashing. Okay, so before we get to these 3 reasons why I believe the market is cooling and not crashing, we got to talk a little backstory here. And that has to do with 2008 and the market crashed then. Back then, on average, they were building somewhere between 750 and 1.2 million houses a year nationwide. So then everything took a dump and lenders stopped lending, houses stopped being built, and the next thing you know, in like 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, about 1 million houses were built over the course of those 3 to 4 years. So now fast forward, and we are 3 million homes behind where we should be. And the reason that's such a pain and so scary to think about is that the largest group of millennials turned 30 in 2020. So they're out here trying to find houses, trying to start families, trying to, do the American dream. And there's 3 million less homes available than there should be. And they're competing with the older generations who have a ton of equity, have a ton of cash, have been in the market for a long time. They're also dealing with crippling amounts of debt and rising interest rates and rising costs of goods. So they're just buried, and it's very difficult for them to compete. So now that we've discussed that, let me get into the 3 reasons why I believe that the Vancouver market is cooling and not crashing. So the first reason why I believe the market is cooling and not crashing in Vancouver, Washington has to do with the lack of inventory that we have available. I looked back on the market between 2018, 2019 to kind of see what our average inventory was outside of the pandemic years. And it was usually around between 12,000 and 13,000 homes sold over the course of a year in Southwest Washington. Well, I took a look today, and in 2022, we are barely going to crest 9,000 homes being sold. That's actually about a 28% decrease. So just think that, a quarter less than what was being sold a couple years ago. And we have the largest group of millennials that are now 32 years old and trying to get a home. You're not going to see prices decrease when there's that much demand pent up. The second reason why I know the market is cooling and not crashing in Vancouver, Washington is housing prices still remain high. So I looked back again at the data, and it said in 2018, the average home price at the end of the year was $393,000. Well, we're approaching the end of 2022, and the average home price is $585,000. So even if the market took a 10 or 15% decrease, you're not going to lose. Ultimately, there's just going to be more negotiating between buyers and sellers. And there's going to be more space and more availability to do that, but you're not going to see a crash in home prices. So the third reason why I know that the market is cooling and not crashing in Vancouver, Washington has everything to do with lending and how lending practices are better now than they were in 2008. If you rewind and go back to 2008, basically they were giving a mortgage to anybody. And you just walked in, you could hand them a pay stub. I don't even know if they were verifying employment because I didn't buy a house back in 2008. I didn't buy mine until 2011. But I heard that you just pretty much walk in. They didn't care what your credit score was. They just gave you a mortgage. And if you want to know more about this, and there is a movie, it's called The Big Short. It has Christian Bale in it, and it tells the story of basically what happened in 2008. But I don't want to get too much into it. Just there's been a lot of changes in the mortgage industry and a lot of other rules like the Dodd-Frank Qualified Mortgage Act. There's a few things with appraisers that have also come, and it just makes sure that it keeps the questions about affordability and who can afford what more in the right direction. So to recap, the 3 reasons why I believe the market in Vancouver, Washington is cooling and not crashing has to do everything with inventory levels being low and remaining low, home prices remaining high, and even if we took a little bit of a hit, you're still sitting on tons of equity And the third reason is that lending practices have changed and they are reducing a lot of risk for buyers, lenders, and the market as a whole. Well, there you have it. Those are my 3 reasons why I believe that the market in Vancouver, Washington is cooling and not crashing. If you got more questions about real estate or especially about Vancouver and Southwest Washington, please get a hold of me. My name is Realtor Cass. My contact information is down below in the description, as well as, if you like this video, if you found it informative, please, 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 please pound the subscribe button, ting the little bell so that you don't miss out on any more of my videos, and definitely give me a like. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping in, and I will see you soon. Bye.